So, where are you and Zacho at, Joey? Where are we at with this? Are we good?
Well, dude, I told you from literally day one, I never had issues with Zach. I had issues with how everything unfolded, like that night for me as far as communication-wise on my end.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if the roles were reversed, you better believe I would have blown homie off the berm.
Yeah.
I would have came at him head on, and I would have absolutely grenaded trying to get him. So, from the racing standpoint, and I told you this, Steve, maybe not out loud, but person to person, I've never had an issue with Zach as far as from that side of it, because like I said, dude, at the end of the day, we're racing. That wasn't for a heat race win or a main event win. That was for all the marbles. So I understand, and I would have done the same thing. There was a lot of stuff that happened and miscommunication on other ends, and at the end of the day, I'm the rider, and I should have been paying attention, but I just got so caught up in the moment that I literally just had such tunnel vision that things didn't go that way. But no, as far as where we're at, I never had an issue with how that went down.
I always, and I always think to myself, and I like both of you guys. You give me a lot of shit, Joey, but for being Zach's #1 fan, which I'm not. But but I like both of you guys. Top three, yeah, maybe top three. I like both of you guys. You're both good dudes. But man, when you guys walk around, someone says, Zach, I was at Vegas and I remember that and it was amazing. And you're like, yeah, thank you. You know what I mean? Just strangers or random fans or whatever. And you're like, thank you. It was great or whatever. And then people see Joey and they're like, oh, that's the guy that, it was such a memorable race. And it was such a swing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like. I mean, you guys are professional athletes. It happens in basketball. And, there's always a guy that's the losing end of something. And you two have that, Yeah. It's crazy.
It will always be like that with everything. There will be the guy who, unfortunately, for the I can't think of off the top of my head, but there's sports situations where somebody fumbles, somebody throws a pick or misses the game winner. It's just how it goes, and that's a part of getting hit and getting back up and just the way things unfolded. To be honest, that race never should have even gone that far. I don't remember what round it was. Zach crashed out. And then I crashed in Toronto like an idiot. I was still trying to do that quad that Zach passed me that night.
Oh, I never jumped that quad the whole day.
Yeah. And
I was shook over it too.
You were?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was doing that quad, and I was so mad that I was just straight up getting beat that I kept doing the quad.
Yeah.
So that night I went from second. I think I got 8th. So you look at the points from that night. You look at the points from
New York
fiasco.
Yep.
The race never even should have came down to Vegas. But those stupid mistakes, cost points. And at the end of the day, I wasn't the better one that won. I didn't win. I wasn't the better of the riders. And, it's obviously, would it have been nice to be on the other side of it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. But, at the end of the day, I made those mistakes because I was trying. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I didn't make those mistakes riding around I'll just get this place tonight. I'll get this. I was still doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. Yeah, I was still going for it, and I'm fine with that. I can go to bed at night and be like, damn, dude, I remember that time I lost, but it wasn't because I wasn't trying.
Yeah, it's just, Zacho, it's one of those things, right, where you're just
yeah, that's fair.
People want to bring it up to you, and you're like, yeah, man, I knocked the guy down.
I've said it before, and we were talking about it earlier, where Joey and I are at, we've been, there was a point where I didn't even feel like I could look at him. I genuinely felt bad. Oh, here he is again, rubbing it, whatever. But I guess it was at the end of outdoors in 19.
Mm-hmm.
We had a weird a moment on the starting line. I remember at Ironman.
We had a moment
where I was like,
were we talking about the Impossible Burger?
Something about that, yeah. We were making a joke about it, and after that, it kind of I kind of felt better about it, and I wanted to follow him on Instagram for a long time, and I just felt genuinely guilty, look at this guy, this freaking moron's now he's trying to be my friend or whatever, but I it makes me as a person feel good to hear him kind of verbalize that, I appreciate that, and I've never ever wanted to be
in your face,
whatever, dickhead, like that, and that's never been my intent.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And that's what, like, I probably would have been easier to go to you directly, but there was like, but also like when we're down there racing, there's no real time for us to like just sit there and shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like that's why it's been brought up multiple times with other people, and Steve being one of them. That conversation about us, and I'm just like, it's always been the same. Like, dude, I don't care about the past, and the whole protest and everything after that didn't come from me.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. I think
but
everybody
it was
knew
like,
it.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, like I respect it because trust me, the roles were reversed. Like the outcome, you know, like of the past that happened is no different. I'm doing the same thing. I've done a lot worse for way worse positions, and you know, like, so yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where we're never down pre-staging, getting ready for a motor. Like, hey, dude, you know, and then we just chat it out. It's like we're down there to do our job and move on, and. You know,
and think about Jordan Smith, who was third or second, and you guys were laying in the ground, and Joey, you were back or whatever, and Jordan Smith had it. I mean, it was early, but all he had to do was ride around in third. You know, he throws it away and hurts his shoulder.
He almost had a big one before the big one, though. Jumping off the track.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and the part that pissed me off that night too. I mean, what really topped it off was I crashed the first or second lap of that main event.
First lap.
Yeah.
After the finish.
First lap.
Yeah.
So it was like. Talk about just beating your head off the wall. Like I crashed the first lap and I got up and I'm like, we're not doing this again, dude. Like, cause I literally, as soon as I crashed, everything flashed. The quad, the stupid quad incident, the New York incident. I'm like, we're not doing this again. I'm getting up and we're going to figure it out. So then I'm right behind Jordan trying to make a pass or get close enough to make one. And I see homie just absolutely annihilate himself.
Yeah.
It was big, man. That crash was nasty.
Holy smokes. And then, you know, from there, just
it's just as a fan of other sports and as an observer of this sport and the media, you feel for Joey, you feel for you. The people's lives change, intersected. It's all racing. It's all professional sports.
Yeah.
And like Joey said earlier, you know,
ain't nothing to feel about. You know, it's just part of it.
Yep.
You get kicked in the head, you just keep moving. But speaking of other sports, you know what sport I've really been into lately, and you'd be proud of? Been into hockey.
Have you really?
We're watching some game right now.